Thanks for listening to our latest In the Neighborhood segment, where we explore where to eat, drink, and shop near you.
Welcome back to the Simply Authentic Podcast. I'm Angie Mullings.
And I'm Tanya Murfin. And today we are doing an In the Neighborhood. So guess where we've been? Oh. We skipped what?
I love it when we talk over each other.
I know.
We kind of skipped the first quarter. We kind of took a break from doing In the Neighborhood, but we've gotten such good response from them, and we do love investigating different neighborhoods in Springfield and beyond. So so back to Tanya's question.
Guess where we went? We went to Galloway. So if you're listening to this, we know you've been to Galloway. And we know that you've probably enjoyed a couple of things here and there, down in the Galloway area on Lone Pine. Mm-hmm. But we just wanted to go down there and explore it one day, which we did. Mm-hmm. And we're going to tell you about that and remind you of all the great places down there.
Yeah, because once you get down there, once you start thinking about all the places there are, there really are several little places to enjoy. So we started on the north end of what we'll consider Galloway.
Yeah, I agree. At Kingdom Coffee. So if you haven't been there, it is like right on the edge of what we're considering Galloway. Mm-hmm. And they have a corner space. So their windows, when you sit in there and enjoy their yummy coffee, look out over Sequiota Park, that leg of it. Yeah, the trail.
The trail.
Not the park, the trail. Yeah. But that trail that leads through there, and there's a big green space there. Mm-hmm. It's really pretty, especially this time of year. It's getting green.
Exactly.
Flowering trees.
They've got a cute outdoor space. So if you haven't checked them out, you really, really should. Again, not a coffee drinker, but they do have some tea options and some, just little bites as well. And you might be familiar, they do have a location downtown. So I am always running into people who don't know that they have that location there on Lone Pine.
Yeah,
so
I know.
So be sure and check it out.
Yes, and then we walked down the sidewalk to Finnic. It's a newer boutique, I think less than a year old. And I actually got onto it recently by my friend Leah Reed at Central Bank. Mm-hmm. And so then you and I popped in there. Mm-hmm. And who do we run into? Leah Reed from Central Bank. So she's got some really great stuff. It smells really good in there.
Yeah, it's cute.
So if you're a boutique shopper, that you definitely need to pop in there.
Yeah.
And next to her
is Cellar and Plate.
Yes.
And it was too early in the day for us to go because they open at 4:00. But if you haven't been to Cellar and Plate for a while, I would say, and I'm talking a few years, but I think their menu has really gotten bigger and they have a lot more selection. And of course, it's changed hands. Mary used to own it back in the day, and I would say in the last 3 or so years, it has changed hands, but they have a great wine selection, great, just a great vibe. They often have live music in there on the weekends, especially. So definitely, if you haven't visited for a while, you should drop back in.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So if you hop across the street, we've got Bambinos.
Yeah.
And who doesn't love Bambinos? Oh, they've been around for a long time.
They really have. Yeah. And if you didn't know, they have another location down close to campus that is actually undergoing a major renovation. So they are closed down. If you're used to going to that location down close to campus, MSU, that location is not currently open. So if you're trying to get into Bambinos, I would tell you that it's harder to get in right now because everybody loves Bambinos. So instead of going somewhere else, they're all coming to the South Side location. Right. So it's a lot busier. So just be prepared for a wait, especially on lunch, for lunch. It's pretty busy.
Good tip. It's another tip I would like to give for them is they cater.
Yes.
And I don't know if you've ever catered for your brokerage. Yes. But we've catered several different things with Bambinos. And I mean, you cannot beat their food. You get tons in the portions. And so if you haven't ever thought of them for catering, they're a great catering option.
Yeah.
So head on down to Sequiota Park, and in that general area, obviously, I would like to meet somebody that's never been to Sequiota Park that's lived in Springfield for some time.
Right.
Because it is one of our greater parks in Springfield, and being down there, they have water features, and the trail runs right through there. And so even if you started on the trail, maybe over more where you live to the north,
Right.
Southern Hills area, then you end up at Sequiota if you walk or ride your bike far enough.
Right.
So that is just, don't forget about going there. And there's kids' play areas, multiple. They have lots of geese if your kids or grandkids like to watch the geese. And there's caves down there.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
it's just a cool area. And I always think of gigantic spiders. The last time I went into one of those caves, there's some big old spiders in there. Yeah, like ones that give you the heebie-jeebies and you run out. And I did that. I ran out screaming. So be careful.
Be careful there.
Yeah.
You can go across the street, and there's Black Lab Coffee is right there. Or if you're in the mood for an adult beverage, you just go right behind Black Lab. And 4x4, friends at 4x4 still have their location there in Galloway.
Yeah.
And so great place to get a coffee or get a beer.
Exactly.
And 4x4 has a great outdoor area again. If you're looking to spend some time outside and have a beverage, it's a great place to go.
Yeah, it really is. Great patio there. So you head on south from that area, and I think we first ran into Pine Gift Shop.
I love that little shop.
Yeah, I always forget about it.
I know it's kind of tucked away over there.
It is.
And but she has some really unique little things. And I think it's in the spring and the fall, she's got that green space to the north of the shop there, and she'll invite vendors in and have, a little fall gathering and one in the spring, I think. Yeah. So it's a great little shop. Check it out for sure.
I think I was in there last fall and popped in. There were a variety of different vendors out in that green space. So that was cool.
Yeah.
Head on down a little more, and you're going to come to kind of the area where the rock is. And that's actually where we ended up having lunch.
Right. Yeah.
And if you haven't been there, it's a great eating area, restaurant. They also have a great patio that you can sit on and eat or have drinks. And right there across from it is the Great Escape Brewery.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. And you'll find a couple of choices in there for food. I think there's a sushi restaurant.
There is. Yes.
They're just on the north
really
side
good.
of, and I haven't been there. So I think that's in there. And then Culture Flock used to be there, but they've moved out. They're down at, we've talked about that, down at Cherry and Pickwick. But there's a new shop in there I just noticed. I don't remember the name, but anyway, so it's, there are a couple of little restaurants to eat at there. Great Escape doesn't have food, but you can order from the Rock and bring your food over. If you want to sit on their balcony and have dinner and a beer, then you can do that. So it's a great little, and they, sometimes in the summer, they will have outdoor entertainment music out in that kind of courtyard between the Rock and Great Escape.
Yes.
So it's a fun little area to be in. I lived in an apartment down there in between houses there for a while, and it was just just be able to walk down the street and have a good dinner and a drink and walk back.
And let's not forget about Pure Hot Yoga. So if you're a yoga fan, they're located down there.
Yeah.
And so if you go a little further down, then we get to the Firehouse Pottery Store.
Firehouse Pottery's down there.
And that's a great place. And I've got to do this with both girls, to take them in and do a... take them down and do like a plate or a cup or something for Christmas or birthdays or stuff like that.
Right.
So I've still got to do that. I've had that on my agenda for 3 years now. So come on, Tanya, get it together.
Exactly. I know that my nieces, when they were younger, their mom took them down there, and they got to make Easter eggs and things like that.
Yes.
Different various times of the year. So they're always good for projects for kids.
Yep. And then we can't forget about Galloway Grill.
No. An oldie but a goodie.
Oh gosh, love me some Galloway. I can remember going there in college, and my friend Lori Arbeitman worked there, and she served me some drinks. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they have a great patio.
Oh, one of the best in Springfield.
I agree. Yeah. And you can get a good burger down there. They've got great salads. It's just a really fun, comfortable patio to sit on.
Right.
And the trail goes right by that. So if you're walking, biking, whatever, you can kind of scope it out to see if it's too busy or they've got space for you after your run.
Right. I think that's the best thing about the entire Galloway area is that you don't have to have a car, right? You can walk. If you're out walking, you're walking with a friend and you want to stop and have a cup of coffee, there's some place for that. You want to stop and grab a beer, there's a place for that. So great hiking, biking area, and really lots to do for the entire family.
Yeah, it's a staple for Springfield. We love Galloway. Yeah. So I think that wraps it up,
I think
Angie.
it does. So get down to Galloway soon.
See you guys later. Thanks, Gershman.
Thanks for listening to this episode of In the Neighborhood.
You never know, we might be in your neighborhood next.